Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 289. I'm your host Rico, here with my co-host
Dane Cody.
Diggity Dane. Cody and I get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, and or whatever the hell we like. Welcome everybody. If you've never been here before, we should start the show off with our BS section, which we are knee deep in. Getting some housekeeping. Our What You Been Playing, where Dana and I talk about the games that have been occupying our time. I don't have anything in there. Wow. But I've got stories.
Oh, boy.
Everybody loves stories. And then we get
story time with Uncle Rico.
Then we get into our news section. Public service announcements in our free-for-all section. So welcome everybody. A little bit of housekeeping before we start. Join the Discord server. That's our Reddit. That's our forum. That's our chat, voice chat. LFG, Party Zone, Treehouse. Is Treehouse or Clubhouse? Clubhouse and Treehouse? Both. I always wanted a treehouse. Did you know any kids that had a freaking treehouse in their backyard? Like actual house in the fucking tree? I feel like you might have because you grew up more like...
Me and my stepdad built one.
Oh, even you had one. There we go.
There you go.
We never had
but
one.
I also lived out in the boonies in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. That's like that. That's a boonie kind of thing. Or just when you have property. That ain't like an in-town kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving along. Remember, everyone, we are a podcast first and foremost. Usually we ignore the chat. Sometimes it catches my attention. I try not to, squirrel or shiny. It distracts me.
We appreciate the subs. Woo!
Takes me off the rails. Of course, yes, we appreciate the subs and the bits and the everything. So, don't hesitate. But usually we'll call those out at the end of the show if you do sub or do anything cool that is worth shouting out. But yeah, we're a podcast first and foremost. But we do stream live on Twitch once a week, Wednesday nights, 8:30 p.m. Pacific time, plus or minus, depending on real life. Twitch.tv/Geekoholics if you want to see Dane's handsome face and my ugly mug, because man, tonight I just look like a freaking beast. But anyway, you can also support the show by using our creator code in Epic or on the Epic Game Store, and Fortnite and Rocket League gets Geekoholics. We appreciate that. Yeah. And with that being said, Dane, do you have anything you would like to report before we get this show on the riggedy road?
No. My weekend was pretty chill. Wasn't too much going on.
I kind of want to talk about my fun stuff before the free for all.
It doesn't sound like you got too much else going on in the what you've been playing here. So like let's get into this, Rick. You've got stories. You've been on an adventure. You've been on a PC.
I upgraded the gaming rig.
Finally,
I did it
because your CPU finally showed up.
It showed up last week. And it only took me a week before I got to actually doing anything with it.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't let it sit there.
I couldn't either, but I was like, I have like a storage room, which is my workshop.
Sure.
Like there's tables in there. I have tools in there. I can leave shit all over the place and close the door and no one's going to fuck around with it. It's...
Sure.
Like old men have wood shops in the garage or... cars and 100 pieces in the garage. I have like a little storage room with like computer parts and toys and boxes and crap everywhere.
It's Rico's corner.
Yeah. And it's literally like a little corner cubby hole. It was a mess. So I couldn't work down there. So I had to clean it out. But in cleaning it out, I ended up just being like wholesale Rico, hello Facebook Marketplace, listing so much shit on the weekend. So I'm like, I don't fucking need this. I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need this. So I got rid of a bunch of shit and I cleaned out that back room instead of building my computer.
Right.
And then after the weekend, of course, it was cleaned up. And
now you're like, I want to build my computer.
Now I want to build my computer. But it's the weekdays. And in the weekdays, I literally only have maybe 2.5 hours in the evening. So Monday night, updated the BIOS. I wasn't going to, because the one that came on it already from when they built it technically supported the CPU.
Right.
But it was a lot of versions like behind. Like
Yeah,
there had been a
as
lot of updates,
usually happens with
and I
that type
saw a
of
lot of
stuff.
like new AMD like stuff, like features or whatever. Because I guess they've added stuff for the Ryzen stuff, the new ones, or
Did
the
you
Zen 3s.
enable? Oh, I guess there wasn't any reason for you to enable SAM on the BIOS for you because you're running an NVIDIA card right now.
Anyway, so yeah, I updated that. That went smoothly. It's quite different since the last time I updated a firmware. It was easy. It was pretty easy, but it was also kind of like a little scary.
I mean, look, the as the old man that's been building computers for way too long, back in the day, let me tell you, back in the
Oh, I
day,
remember back in the day. I was
um,
expecting it to be a
it
lot more
was
complicated.
it was complicated and it was scary, and I've got a few stories about BIOS updates going sideways and
Ugh.
breaking computers.
Yeah, that's not good. Well, that's the
Um,
fear. It's like
yeah,
that's the thing with BIOS updates. It's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
generally speaking, yeah, unless it's a security update or, but like nowadays, like it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
A
it
lot of times,
was
like you can preload in Windows
it was
and
so
and
well.
then your
Even
computer
yeah,
reboots, and then it's like it just does the thing,
I
and then
think the last time
that's
I
it.
did one, it was like that. You started in Windows, and then it
So like
like
with yeah, like with Dells and all the like laptops and stuff like that, that's how it is. So like we're a Dell partner at work, and so like I do tons of Dell BIOS updates, and it's super straightforward. You download the file, you double click, you say yes, it
yeah.
reboots, and then it does
See,
its thing.
that was what I was expecting to do. So I don't know
Sure.
if it's just the new. It's a little different with these ones, or if it's just an ASUS thing. But I actually downloaded the firmware,
Yep.
put it on a USB stick,
Yep.
and then you shut down the computer, and you
Oh,
hold
they have it in like okay,
and you
yeah.
hold down a button on the back of your motherboard, like it's a BIOS flashback button or whatever. That's what fucking Asus calls it for 3 seconds.
Yeah. And
And
it
then just
automatically
a
pulls
light
it
starts
over.
blinking green for a
Oh.
long time, but there's
Oh.
nothing on your screen and there's
I don't
nothing
like
going. That's where I was like, I don't know if I really fucking feel real cool with this right now.
there has to be another way to do that. So the weird thing is like that to me is like if you have a bad so that what you did isn't wrong necessarily, but that is the system that is in place in
That
case you fuck up a BIOS
yeah,
update.
that's a
Like that's the system that they're like, hey, if all your shit's fucked up, this is how you can do like
that was the only
secondary
I
BIOS
couldn't
flash.
find a software to down. Well, let's be honest, I didn't look very hard, but that
Because like
was
I'm at like for my board when I installed my board, there's actually as part of the like hardware like as part of the software for the hardware, you download the like
I'm
motherboard
sure you could do
drivers,
it right through the
blah blah blah.
BIOS.
There's actually just so there's like there's technically three different ways I could do it. I can literally do it in Windows where I literally like run the program and it just does it. And then I reboot and it just kicks me over to the new
There,
BIOS.
yeah.
And then I could do it from within the BIOS where I plug in my USB and it's like in there and I just choose it and it does it there. Or I have a similar setup similar to yours, what you just described as well. So yeah.
Maybe there it was a Windows one, but I didn't see it, and I did it that way. So it's
Yep.
blinking. It's like can take up to
Sure.
8 minutes on the website. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go fuck
Sure.
off, and I'm just like, I'm
I
just
can't.
don't. I went and did something, and then I came back and like no lights were blinking, and then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna wait a little bit. No lights. Okay, I'm like, okay, I pulled it out, turn it on, boom, done. But
I am
I did
so
not feel
oh.
comfortable at all. Like it was a little.
So I, being the control freak that I am,
No,
when I put
I
something
hate that.
that's as important as a BIOS, I want to be able to see that something is happening. And if shit goes sideways, I want to be there when it happens, at what point it happens, how far down the bar did it happen at, so that I know, like
I already knew there was no screen, so it was just a matter of I
yeah.
don't want to fucking fuck it up, so I'm gonna go away to make sure that it absolutely stops blinking and is done completely. So anyway, it worked.
Right.
I bet you there's another way of doing it too, but that's what I found when I looked up BIOS update for my board, and that was like the first result on
That's funny.
Asus's website. And then so that was Monday night, and I'm like, okay, that's ready. The room's clean downstairs. The parts are splayed out. The tools I need are out. And basically, I had to do quite a few things because I had to change my case to make it open to accommodate the 3-fan AIU, whether it went in the front or the top. So I had to take it all apart. And that freaking tower has like so many bays for hard drives. It's like redonkulous. But you can pull them all out and then like collapse like the bay section that kind of eats up this like 6 or 7 inches in the front of the case.
Mm-hmm.
And you just make it flat and collapse it. And anyway, I had to move some hard drives from the back to the front, like down below on the power supply shroud.
Sure.
So I had to move some hard drives, and I had to move some to the back that were in the bays, and then I had to put another M2 drive in. And so I started all that on the one night, taking the case apart and getting most of that. I got it converted, hard drives moved, and the M2 installed, which was a little scary because it was missing. I'm like, I was putting the M2 in and I'm like screwing it down. I'm like, wait a minute. Something's missing here. The peg that holds the M2 drive was missing.
The peg? Like,
yeah, because it was loose.
Itself?
Because you can adjust the length depending on what M2 drive you have. The shortest, the middle, or the really long ones, which I've never seen a long one before. And there's no studs there, for the M2 screw. So like if you screwed it, it would just screw right to the board, like on an angle.
Oh, interesting.
Like it's like, that's not right. I'm starting to screw it and I'm like, wait a minute.
That is weird.
I'm like, this is not right. There's not supposed to be a gap here. So I stopped screwing before I went too far. And I'm like,
course.
Oh, shit. I'm like, well, hopefully I didn't fuck that up. I'm like, great. So maybe I fucked up that. Then I had to dig through everything, and I couldn't find the fucking M2 thing. And it was like hidden in the corner of a fold of the motherboard box because they just tossed it in the box like loosely because they didn't use it because I didn't put a second M2 in when it was built because I didn't build it. So like I was pressed for time and I just let Memory Express build it. Anyway, I found it, got that in day one, and then this afternoon after work, I freaking finished the rest. I slammed the all-in-one in. I got the freaking new fans in, which I don't know if I'm a fan of the fans. The colored fans they just don't look as good. Like the colored fans from the cooler, the all-in-one.
Yeah.
I got a Gigabyte cooler, which was like $140 off. So it was like $200, just over $200 for like a $340 cooler. I'm like,
yeah, that's
cool.
The like Oris cooler or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
I'm like, I'm getting that one because the price is fantastic. I wanted to do it front mounted, but they weren't long enough because you couldn't put the hoses down, and you don't want to put them up according to those videos on the internet because that's bad. So I top mounted it, which I don't mind.
And there's a lot of different BIOSes for your board.
Yeah, there's like tons, like crazy, right? Like the most recent one's a beta one. Anyway,
you didn't install that one, right?
No, I didn't install that one. That one literally, I think, came out in the last couple of days.
Okay.
But yeah, so I got that done, and then had to run tons of cables. The thing looks like fucking spaghetti in the back. Thank God you don't see the back.
I mean, like that's like that's like this. It's like every computer, even the ones from like the fancy computer manufacturers. You open the back and like that's where they got to route. That's where the cable shit is.
You could tidy it up a bit, but I'm like,
sure, but I mean, like nobody's gonna see it. Two, it doesn't really affect anything. Like why? It's. I mean, I don't know about you. It's not keeping me up at night. So
yeah.
As long as it's tidy and it looks good, that's the big one for me. So,
so anyway, I got it all together. Went upstairs, plugged it in. Moment of silence. I'm like, please turn on. And it worked. I did it. I did a lot of stuff. I was really stressed out, but once I started doing it, it was pretty painless. So it took me maybe 3 hours to do it all.
Man.
Dude, wow. You don't understand how much I had to totally modify this case. and move a lot of stuff and fight
Well,
with
I saw your photos of like you're like, yeah, I've like ripped out all the stuff in the front. You're like, I'm gonna mount it up here, and I'm like, okay. And then like an hour or two later, you're like, I had to mount it on the top.
Yeah, it was a lot of fucking work. So then anyway, I got that all done. Fantastic. It's working. I did benches up. I did some benchmarks and stuff. And
Sure.
to be honest, I barely noticed a difference because most of the games aren't taking advantage of that stupid CPU to begin with.
Sure.
So, but whatever. I got a super way too crazy fancy computer, and I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, I mean it'll. So the thing is that like I mean, I guess we can just talk about this a bit. So I was going to talk about it in free for all, but since we're already talking about it, I can discuss. So the thing is that so you were running a 3600X before, which is a 6-core.
That's pretty decent processor.
It's a decent processor, but the thing is like the jump from the 3000 series to the 5000 series is pretty substantial. Like you're getting like a 20% increase in performance, which is, pretty sweet. And the thing is that when you look at numbers using like a 3080 or a 80 or a 6800 XT between the 3600 and even a 5600, even if you would have just jumped from like what you had to essentially the new version of what you had,
Yeah,
you would have seen a significant increase just because the new technology in the 5000 series is killer. And so like the thing is that now what I'm realizing in the games that I've been playing is that I have this insane video card, which I absolutely love, and like my PC's pretty dope, Threadripper, 32 gigs of RAM, blah blah blah. But my CPU is holding back my video card now.
hey, you're like where I was with the processor that I used to have when I got my 1080.
No, I'm not that far back.
No, not that far back. I was in a similar situation where I had a couple gens back, bought a 1080, and then I upgraded the motherboard to go with the 1080 later on.
So like the thing is that at this point I'm like, it doesn't really make sense for me to do an upgrade now because in another year, like essentially fall, I guess it'll be a year and a half.
At this point, you may as well wait for DDR5.
That's the thing. But at this point, I'm close enough to 2022 that it doesn't make sense for me to to rip out my motherboard, rip out my processor, and replace both of those for now. When in like another year, I mean, I guess it's only two pieces, but like the amount of work that's involved in ripping out a motherboard and a processor it's a lot of work.
Yeah, modifying a case and doing all the shit I did was a lot of fucking work.
So that's the thing is, so now I'm like it's
but
brutal because
you're seeing an improvement.
Oh no, I like huge improvement.
You just want to see 200 frames and you're not.
No, there's actually been a couple situations where I'm actually getting worse frame rates.
Really?
And I think it might have to do with the game.
Yeah, you said that Immortals was
frame rates. So here's the thing. Like I'm getting definitely better frame rates than I got with my old video card. But I actually think I may have gotten slightly faster frame rates on the 3070 because it wasn't as constrained by my CPU. So like right now I'm playing playing Immortals and I'm getting like 70 frames a second. But my video card is sitting at like 60% use. Like it's only using it like 60%. So it's not, I've got 40% of my video card just sitting there not being used. But for some reason, it's like even though I have lots of threads and everything else, it's not pushing enough into the video card. So it's it's this weird lopsided thing that's happening.
Is that just a setting thing? Like, do you want your video card pinned?
I mean, ultimately, yeah. Like, you want your video card that's the thing, right? Like, most of the time,
you see, when I did benches on Immortals, was it Immortals or Watchdog? No, it was Assassin's Creed or Immortals. I did bench marks with the 5950 in my 3080, and the GPU and CPU usage for both of them were just like at 20%.
Probably not GPU, because like the thing
GPU
is, like,
was
you're probably going to be GPU limited most of the time.
GPU,
so essentially, when your GPU is hitting 100%, that means you're GPU limited, right?
The GPU is like only running at 20% in the benchmarks. It said.
then something is wrong.
But the frame rates were like 140 and something.
Yeah, I mean that, or your percentage was wrong.
Maybe.
Which is maybe possible.
Is that not just like a texture thing, or like maybe one of the settings I had is low? I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know, but so that's the thing. Like, it was funny because I was playing Godfall, and like I have everything maxed out. Everything is on Epic. I've got ray tracing turned on.
You got to remember these are brand new cards, right? So it could just be weird shit with drivers or something else.
And that's the thing, and like that's the other thing. But like that's the crazy thing. So here I am playing Godfall, all those settings maxed out. I'm getting like 80, 90 frames a second.
Yeah.
But my video card's only like 70% use. Like, so there you go.
Yeah.
First world problems, right? Like,
yeah,
woe is me, like, you know.
So I got all the parts.
Yeah.
I didn't get I got it done. It's working. Now I got to fuck around with RGB bullshit. Like, that's going to be annoying because they're all different. And then I got to freaking now put the new podcast computer, which I was hoping to get done in time, but clearly that didn't happen. But when I had all my parts off to the side and I was screwing around, heart attack time, I was moving the old CPU to go put it in the new motherboard.
Uh-huh.
And I drop it down and I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. So I'm like looking at it and I'm like, it's not flat. And then I could like rock it back and forth. I'm like, that's fucking weird. I'm like, did I unlock it? Yeah, the socket's unlocked. So I pull it up. I look at it. Uh-oh. That looks weird. And I bent one of the pins.
Oh,
but
man.
It's so hard to see. Those pins are so fucking small.
They're tiny.
And your eyes, I'm like,
So here's one thing I will say. So Intel moved to what they call a ball grid array CPU fucking 12 years ago. So like when you buy an Intel CPU, there isn't any pins on the CPU. The pins are actually built into the motherboard. And so the CPU just has a whole bunch of spots that are like pins that when you slide it into place, it like presses down and like locks it in.
Makes the contact with the pins that are in the board.
But the pins are like inside the motherboard.
There's
built
no
in.
exposed pins to break.
Exactly. So nobody ever is bending pins because there isn't any to bend anymore. And like they made that change, like I said, fucking like that was back in the Pentium 4 days.
What the
they
fuck
made
is
that
wrong
change.
with AMD?
And so here's the weird thing. When I bought an AMD system, my Threadripper is the same way. There's no pins on my Threadripper. It's a ball grid array, same as my Intel.
Weird.
I didn't realize till after that apparently they're still using like that, and I don't know why. I honestly do not know why, because it's like, you know, I've heard like it's wild to me because luckily I can honestly say I've built hundreds of computers, and even back when I had pins in processors, I've never managed to bend the pin.
That's the thing. I don't know how or where I bent it.
So it's funny because I was talking
to you can't just
one
bend
of the guys at work, and he was saying that maybe when you pulled it out of the socket, you just that one corner was just a tiny bit off kilter, and it like you didn't even realize it. Like
that's the thing. When I pulled it out, I pulled it straight out, and I took it out and laid it on its back. Like I could see the bent pin.
Right.
Easily after I realized it was bent when I tried dropping it in.
Sure.
But when I pulled it out and laid it on its top,
there
was no bent pin. So between moving stuff around, I don't know if I brushed by it or if I just clipped something, because you can't they're not so fragile that you just like breathe on them, they bend. It takes a little bit of like, so they
are metal, so I
had to have hit it on something to bend it.
That's weird.
And I'm like, God damn it. So then
I will say, full disclosure, like if you're doing a swap like that, the CPU comes out of the socket, goes into the little CPU like cradle plastic.
Yeah, well, I didn't have anything.
Goes in there.
I just had it upside down, pins up on a big clear empty desk. So between going to move it and somewhere, I can't even explain it. Anyway, I got a headlamp
Yeah.
and painstakingly like freaking like squinting my eyes. I had like these super fine like needle nose like pliers from like my tool like electronics toolkit, and I was just
Okay.
able to like grab it and like bend it ever so slowly.
Just very, very gently, very, very
Yeah, well, I was
carefully.
hoping not to break it. And
Yeah,
then
that's totally
eventually I straightened it out, and then I had another like thin like piece of metal that I could run like not metal, plastic, that I ran through all the pins
right
to
to
make
make
sure it
sure that
didn't
they
get
were the
snagged or hit anything,
yeah,
because like it's really hard to see. If this one
yeah,
I could see that it was bent because it being bent like had a shine.
right.
Anyway, I straightened it all, and then I went and I dropped it
And then
in,
you dropped it in, and
and
it went.
it
Whoop.
went in straight.
Yeah,
And
there
I'm
you
like,
go.
okay. I'm like,
Crisis averted.
fingers.
Crisis averted.
Yeah, well, it went in. It doesn't mean I didn't fuck it up. Still, I still got to build a whole computer around it.
It's probably fine.
I'm hoping it's okay. Otherwise, that's a $300 mistake. But
Yeah,
I guess the
I mean,
$300 I saved by doing this all myself.
yeah.
Maybe I'm gonna get a
mean,
5600, a free upgrade for the podcast, or a new upgrade for the podcast computer.
yeah. So cool.
Anyway,
That's fun
that's
times.
story time with Rico and fucking shit up and having heart attacks. I'm more happy that at least the good computer booted up and I didn't fuck anything up there.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, it
'Cause-
was funny. I was helping another person on the weekend with their computer. They were building one for the first time in a very long time, so it was it brought back memories. It's been a while since I built
Yeah,
one.
well, that huge modification and now building the second one, like, oh yeah, this is kind of fun and stressful all at the same time.
Yeah, it can be pretty painstaking for sure.
Yeah,
For
I'm just
sure,
hoping
so.
I can get this next one put together, and hopefully I'll get the one button post.
Sweet.
You know, fingers crossed that we can.
That's always the big one when you press that power button. As long as all the lights and everything turn on and it goes beep and
Yeah.
you see something on the screen, you're like, woo!
And all
win!"
my new hard drives like showed up, and I formatted them all in the new machine as well. My 7 terabytes of SSD storage. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
What is your obsession with storage,
don't
dude?
know.
Like,
I don't know.
You're like hoarding. Like the funny thing is that in like another year, you're gonna be able to have 2 hard drives with all of that storage on them for probably half the price. Like I don't
a bunch of
understand
it
what
was
you're...
a bunch of it was Black Friday cheap deals, and part of it is I'm an idiot.
like, you know, you're
Hey,
talking.
now I don't
like,
have to
yeah,
delete
put
it. I
some
don't have
1
to delete
terabytes.
anything.
Sure.
Dane,
Yeah.
shall we get into what you've been playing?
Yes, let's do that.
You played some different games.
I did. I mean, I played a bunch of the regular stuff too. I'm not gonna lie, I found out that that the Predator was coming to Fortnite on the weekend, so that in turn meant that I had to buy the Battle Pass, and so I played a whole bunch of that because, I mean, I have to, you know, do all the things. So that was, but that was fun because that's always with friends, and that's always a good time. But on top of that, I was like, you know, I want to play some other stuff that I maybe haven't played or want to check out. And one of the ones was a game called Fae Tactics. I believe I have this on
sound
Steam.
familiar?
Yes, I have it on Steam.
Was it a freebie?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, it was part of Humble, wasn't it?
Yes, it
I'm like, I
was. But the
recognize.
funny thing was, it was on. So it was on my wish list, and then I ended up getting it in a Humble bundle. So it was like perfect. This works out perfect for me. So the game's called Fae Tactics, and the reason is that I had heard somewhere that it was the best Final Fantasy Tactics game that wasn't called Final Fantasy Tactics. And if anybody's listening to this podcast knows, I love me some Final Fantasy Tactics. I stand by my statement that it is still the best Final Fantasy game ever made. And I still love that game. And so this game is very similar. It's got kind of the pixel art. It's got kind of that same very three-quarter game perspective with the grids. It's got a really unique game, Like it's got like a fun. It's honestly like it's a huge homage to Final Fantasy Tactics. There's no doubt about it. There is a really cool thing in the game where as you fight and you get monsters, you do collect cards, and then you can build your. So that's the Fae part of it. Is you're collecting these Fae cards, and then of course you can build a deck essentially, and you can I won't even say a deck. They're like you can choose up to 3 of them to come into battle with you, and then those will then level up as well. And like they have summons and they have magic and they have attacks and like and so on and so forth. And as you level up, you gain what they call trait points, and you can put those into like 3 different areas. There's like a whole kind of a party system. Like it's like I said, it's very Final Fantasy Tactics. It's bright, it's colorful, it's fun. Um, it's very good. I won't lie, it is very good. The combat has got quite a. One of the really cool things that I will say is they've implemented a system in the game where in Final Fantasy when there's like those moments or in Tactics there's those moments where you need to move your character to a spot, but then you're not able to do anything afterwards, right? It's like you're waiting essentially. So in like
one
Tactics, you'd
attack
usually
and one
guard,
move, whatever.
right? So it's similar to that. You can move your character a certain distance, and then you can like either attack or you wait. If there's nothing you can do, then you wait. But the cool thing is that every character has like a wait ability as well. So like some characters, if you don't attack with them, they'll cast like a protection spell around themselves. Or some characters will like
so they might have
do
some like essentially passive abilities for when you're in that wait stance.
Totally. So like then that brings in this whole different unique aspect to the game where like for example the main character has a wait ability that if she waits, her next ability will do like a chain attack and hit multiple enemies. So whereas like one of your companions abilities is their wait attack, like their wait ability is like a protection spell that like like helps create like a barrier around you guys. So it's like these types of things you got to factor in like, okay, well if I use that ability, then I'm going to be able to chain attacks on the guy afterwards. So it's like I might be waiting, quote unquote, but like I'm able to
Basically,
do
you're
more
charging
damage the
up.
next time. And it's like, yeah, it's cool. It's a really neat system. I will definitely be playing more of it. It absolutely scratches that Final Fantasy Tactics itch.
Cool. I might
I
have
will
to.
be curious if the story. That's the only thing so far. Like it's fairly cutesy. It starts off with like you're this girl. You're a young
Girl
magic
who
user,
destroyed the world.
and ultimately like your motorbike breaks down, and you're trying to go to the next town. And that's kind of where like you have some battles, and then you manage to get to the town, and they are like, oh sorry, I don't have the parts to like fix your bike, like you're gonna have to go here or do that or whatever. And you're like, oh okay. And so that's kind of where I'm at. So I'll be curious, like, because that is the one thing I will say about Final Fantasy Tactics is the story in that game is incredible. It's got some amazing twists and turns, and it goes places. And so if this even has like a cool story to go along with the battle system, I will be stoked.
Was it part of
Yeah,
last month's choice or the most? I swear I saw it somewhere.
I can't honestly remember. It was like I want to say it was a humble bundle though, and it wasn't that long ago. One of the last couple months.
I don't know. Just that logo looks so familiar to me. I'm like, why does it look so familiar? Well, it's definitely a humble produced game.
Yeah, no, it was. I want to say it was one of their like. I'm 99.9% sure it was one of the humble games. So, yeah. So yeah, so I started
October.
that.
It was in October.
There you go. I knew it was one in the not too distant past because I had been going through there just looking at some of the stuff that I hadn't added anywhere and done anything with. So I started that. I'm getting into that. We'll see. It's just like I've always said, is like I get in moods where I want to play stuff.
And you're in
that one, I was kind of in the mood.
style game.
Totally. And the other thing that I was kind of in the mood for was like, I don't know, I kind of wanted to jump into something like a first person style shooter. I was trying to debate what I wanted to play. I almost loaded up Destiny, but then I was like, let's not be
You're
crazy.
like, you know what? I want to shoot some fucking Nazis.
Exactly. So I realized that Wolfenstein Youngblood was part of the Xbox Game Pass games now. So I installed that, and I have started that because, hey, who doesn't want to shoot some Nazis in the face? Um, that
Nazis?
game is weird, man. um, the tone of that game is so all over the place. It's bizarre. It's like you're these sisters, and you're like looking for your dad who's gone missing.
Who their
And,
dad is,
and
BJ Blazkowicz or whatever.
yeah, so like your dad is of course the main character, the protagonist in like the Wolfenstein games, and these are his daughters or whatever. And it's supposed to take place in like kind of a 1980-ish sort of style. Like everything's kind of got that like cassette tapes and VCRs, and like everything's named a little bit differently, but it's like that's kind of the era that they're trying to invoke.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got like it's such a strange, they go from like, hey, let's have a sleepover with a friend of ours, to like, let's fly to Europe and shoot Nazis in the face. Like it's such a weird transition, and like
The
how
tone?
that'll work. Yeah, like it's so weird. And it's like they go from like, we were born to kill Nazis, to like, we've never killed a Nazi. And then you're going from that to
That's
actually
what I
killing a
heard. Like
Nazi.
the starting was a little weird.
Yeah, and then you go kill some Nazis, and then their sisters are like high-fiving, but at the same time they're puking because like you just killed somebody. Like, you
And
know what
they've
I mean?
never
Like
and
it's
they've
this,
never killed someone before.
right. It's this weird, but then of course you go from killing somebody and feeling kind of weird about it, and like puking and being like, whoa. But then you go on and you murder like 30 more within 10 minutes. So it's like this.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like I said, tonally, it's fucking bizarre.
Murder, it's not a big deal.
So like the whole game is, it feels like it's designed to be played co-op, because you're playing one of the sisters. The sisters are twins, and the whole game you're playing with your sister. Like, so like you're running through like there's even certain sections where like you run over to like a door or something, and you hit the button, and you have to wait for like your sister to come over and hit the other button at the same time. When you go down, like if you die or whatever, you got to wait for your sister to come revive you. Um, so like it seems like there's quite a robust co-op system in that game. Like I know it is, you can play co-op. There's even a thing where you can play co-op online, where if you download the demo, there's like a co-op demo that you can download, and as long as one of the players has the full game, then the other player can like essentially like tag team in and play along with them in co-op, which is kind of neat. Um, so yeah, I haven't played it in co-op, but I mean, you're kind of playing it in co-op regardless. But yeah, it's very much a Wolfenstein game. You're collecting, it's not none of this like Halo nonsense where you can only carry two guns. Like you can carry all the guns and you can carry all the weapons. It has a very similar thing to in the last couple Wolfenstein games, where like when you pick up a gun and then you get like certain kills with it, then that gun will level up and you can unlock like perks and things like that.
Different mods.
There's like a level up system, so that as you level up, like you can unlock other perks and things like that as the player. It's got kind of a hub style, so like after the first main mission, you end up back at like a kind of a home base, and then from there it's almost like the city is sort of, I don't want to say open, but it's kind of open, and you can run down the streets, and there's various missions that you get. Some of them like, and essentially from what I can tell, at least it seems like there's three main missions that you need to do before you can.
Wolfenstein 2 kind of had that. You
Yeah.
had the hideout or whatever that you'd go back to and do stuff
Yeah.
between missions.
So this one, it's like in Paris. You're in Paris, and you're roaming the streets, killing Nazis, and there'll be Nazi checkpoints and stuff like that, and you can decide to sneak past them or just kill everybody, and it's and then of course there's a ton of collectibles and pickups and stuff like that. And then as you do things, you'll unlock people, and as you help people and stuff like that, they'll give you side missions and stuff. So like I got one where it was like, hey, go to the hospital and like save this person because they got captured and they're gonna get brainwashed by the Nazis. So like go there and get her out of there before she gets brainwashed, kind of a thing. And so like you go there, and like the whole idea is they say like, hey, you should probably go more or less get better at being a badass before you try to take on these big missions, because these are kind of hard. And so I don't know what necessarily right now those missions have a skull beside them, so I'm assuming that they're too difficult for me to do, but I haven't tried yet to take one on just to see.
You gotta have a couple more sleepovers before you're ready for it.
Apparently. So yeah, like I said, it's weird. It's like the gunplay I think is okay. I think some of the enemies feel a little bit bullet spongy.
Yeah, there was some weird difficulty spikes in Wolfenstein 2. I remember.
Yeah.
Where it was like it got really hard. It's like I wasn't playing on very hard, but it's like I felt like I was either getting overwhelmed or just couldn't do shit to certain enemies, or it just didn't feel like I was very effective against enemies. It was weird.
So that's the other thing is like there's a system in the game where like you kind of like throw up, I don't know, like it's like a woot system, if you will, where like one of the systems goes like woohoo, and now you get a boost of health, or the other sister goes woohoo, and then you get a burst of armor. Like it's this weird system, but like you hit a button and
here's
like
a participation medal.
Kind of, it's and like in the game she's like yeah,
you're
and
better
like
now.
all of a sudden your health goes up like 50 or whatever, and they're on a cooldown, of course you can't just spam them, but yeah, there's like, so like I said, it's like tonally it's weird. There's definitely, I know exactly what you mean, because I started the game off just on normal difficulty, and the way the enemies were kind of bullet spongy mixed with how much damage they seemed to do to me, it wasn't like, I ended up turning it down one. There is one more below that, but that seemed to definitely help. Like I felt like I was having more fun with it, because like you want it to be a challenge, but at the same time you don't want it, I don't know, like even on normal it was weird, because like you said, like there's situations where like I was totally no problem, and then I ran into this like boss who like put me on my ass like 4 times in a row, and I'm just like, what the hell, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like it wasn't fun at that point. So I did bump it down one, and that seemed to help. So I'm hoping that that's the sweet spot, but I mean, who knows? Maybe if worse comes to worse, I'll drop it down.
Maybe that's where having
like,
an AI partner isn't as good as if you had someone else playing with you.
That could totally be the case. Like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna stick with it, because
you're playing on PC, right?
I am playing on PC.
It's part of Game Pass.
Yes, I'm playing the Game Pass version, which is the the Windows Store version, I guess technically. So yeah, it's weird. It's like, and like I kind of want to keep playing it though, so I'm gonna do that until, I don't know, I either get bored or it just gets so weird that I'm like, what the fuck is this? Yeah. I don't know.
I heard mixed things. I heard it wasn't terrible, just like just average.
Yeah.
And just, I guess, a little disappointing because 2 was pretty good, pretty damn good.
Yeah.
2 has a pretty fucking awesome story.
Yeah. And like that was the thing, as I guess like I don't think it's that long. Like I don't think it's a super long game, is my understanding.
Yeah.
So I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll be like a fun romp, for 10 or whatever hours, and then that'll be kind of that. So
I didn't play much. I played some Assassin's Creed, not a lot. I'm level 144, 47 hours in, 35%.
Right, but is that 35% saying like everything in the game? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know how far I'm in the story because I still have like at least 5 or 6 areas I haven't been to. I just
Right.
started like the 5th. I guess it's the 5th group that you're looking to affiliate with. I don't know. I can't remember what they
Okay.
fucking call that.
Sure.
But anyway, I'm super powerful. I could take out zealots that are like 80, 90 power levels higher than me. Like
Sure.
not easily. It's like takes me
I was gonna say that it
countering
just
and
turns into Assassin's Creed Dark Souls.
yeah, it's basically me dodging, countering, and I could usually kill them in one go. If I fuck up, then okay, I kill them the second time.
Sure.
But I got a pretty good system where like if I counter, I damage enemies, and I slow down time when I dodge. I think I talked about this last week, which really gives me like a huge like advantage. And then I have my like wolf friend who like fucks him up too, and it just all adds up for a lot of like controlling him and countering. And anyway, I played some of that, made some more progress. I wanted to play a lot more. I'm honestly contemplating buying the XP boost because
that's what you were saying on the
Discord. Because I'm liking the game, but I don't want to play for another 100 hours. I just kind of want to beat it in like another 20 so I can go play something else. But I am still liking it. It's like I don't want to stop playing it, but at the same time, I don't want to play it for 200 more hours. And it kind of seems like I easily can because there's still so much fucking shit on that map. Like, it's
so like this is the same kind of problem I had with Odyssey. Was like, I felt like Origins was like kind of the perfect side. Like it felt like a big world, but like I never felt at any point that I needed to go like get an XP booster to boost my XP.
I don't need to. Like, nothing's hard. Like, and I'm matching. I'm
point.
well above the story's level. Like the story level right now where I'm at is power level 90.
So I mean, maybe the fact is that maybe you're doing way too much side shit and not doing enough of the main story stuff.
But I've done a lot of the main story too. That's the thing. Like, and my skill trees, like I'm having fun, but it's just like fuck. There's like so much. It's awesome. Like it's good and it's bad at the same time. Coming off of like a game like Miles, which is just such a super sculpted, tight experience that you do in 8-10 hours, 12 hours,
right?
And then
if you want, you could do it. You could spend another 20 hours doing all.
And that's the thing. Yeah, and again, it's not like this is not good in any way. It's like holy fuck, it's a huge game. I still do like it.
Like I said, that was my issue with Odyssey. Is I felt like they could have cut like a large chunk of that game, like even just from a story perspective, because it just like the middle part just kind of seemed like it went on, and you're like, geez, like, could we maybe just cut a little bit of this to make the story a little tighter?
And I like Ivor. The female Ivor is pretty awesome. Like, I really like her. Anyway, I played that. Who knows? We'll see if I get the XP stuff. And I don't think I really played anything else. I don't think I launched Fortnite once. I bounced off of Destiny. I launched Destiny and I was like, yeah, I'm good. I don't care. I like tried to play it and was just like, whatever. Apparently there's a new exotic, but it's just an old exotic from the first game. So
it's a new old exotic.
Can't be motivated. And there's already like a state of Destiny. Like, oh, we're going to have a state of Destiny this year. We have such exciting things this year that we're finally going to. I fucking heard that 6 times now. 6 fucking times at least.
We've been hearing that since Destiny 1.
And hearing that at least once every fucking year when the game's fucking player base has like abandoned it or streamers have quit it and just people don't give a shit. Now we got great stuff coming. It's the exact same shit every time. Don't get me wrong, I still love Destiny, but it's like, come on, guys.
Didn't Beyond Light like not come out that long ago?
Yeah, November.
I mean,
moving along. That's it. Shall we get into some news, Dean?
Let's get into some news.
The news. New report details Cyberpunk 2077's development troubles, crunch, and almost entirely fake E3 demo. What? This story from Eurogamer, which is by Wesley Ian Poole, which is pretty much a regurgitation of points taken from Jason Schreier's scathing Bloomberg story about him talking to a bunch of current and ex-employees from CD Projekt Red.
it's a good article. I posted it in the Discord. I did read the whole article. It's weird because it's like, I don't know if it was his decision or his editor's decision or whose decision it was, but it seems like he had way more information, but it didn't end up getting put inside the story. So it's like you read the story and the story, first of all, just sort of stops. And I was scrolling
Yeah,
down, like
it
expecting like there to be way more like after the ad or whatever. And it just there wasn't.
abruptly ends.
It was just, and then the funny thing was is that he posted the link to the story on his Twitter, which is fine, good for him. But then the funny thing was is that he replied to his own tweet with like a whole bunch more information on it that didn't end up in the story. And he said flat out, like, this is stuff that didn't make it into the story. Here, have a bunch more information. And it was just like, what? So it was like, I felt like it fleshed out a lot of kind of what we already knew. I don't know that there was that much new information. One thing he did say was that their E3 2018 gameplay demo / video that they had at E3,
hey, I was there,
was almost entirely fake. Like that they had more or less made that little piece. Like there wasn't really a game at that point. It was that they'd kind of put it together.
Yeah. That section
E3
is in the finished game, though.
Yeah, no, like that's my understanding.
That's where a lot of people,
at the time,
yeah,
it's mainly when you look at it as at the time there wasn't really much of a game.
Yeah, and
but they put everything
all
together.
You were going to be able to do,
and yeah, but outside of that, I don't really know if there was that much new information in this story.
Just crunch problems. The game started dev like super late.
Yeah,
cut features.
It's like I said, it's a cool article. It's
all the same mistakes
Eurogamer
that happen over and over in video game development.
Absolutely.
It's, to be honest, it's nothing new, but it is him talking to employees as opposed to a lot of assumptions.
Yes.
And it does kind of lend some weight to the whole argument that crunch is bad, because a lot of all these problems stem from just crunch and bad like management.
Yep. And like it's crazy because so much of it was, on upper management, like where they had this idea that they needed to get a game out when they felt like, and it just, the whole thing is kind of
the key,
like how not
CD
to fucking
CD Projekt magic.
Yeah,
CD Projekt magic.
It's the same thing that BioWare ran into, right? With like Anthem and shit, where they're like, "Oh, don't worry, we're BioWare. We'll, it'll all come together in the end, and we're BioWare." And they're the same thing with like the CD Projekt stuff. Is like they're coming off of The Witcher 3, and they're like, "Oh, don't worry, guys. Like, we did The Witcher. We're the Witcher 3 guys. Like,
yeah, we can't fuck this up.
We got the CD Projekt magic." And then of course like the game comes out and everybody goes, "What the fuck?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, sorry, my bad." Like,
never mind the fact that it didn't run on the old consoles.
Well, and like they did it, like the developers, they flat out admitted themselves, like
they pleaded a little bit of ignorance and threw their QA under the bus.
Yeah, which I think was real shitty of them to do, because I guarantee you the QA guys were going like,
we take ownership. Okay, but you did nothing.
Yeah.
You're just saying you take ownership. No one resigned. You didn't give your people more money. Like, you didn't make ownership. Usually means you do something to take ownership of the problem you just created.
Like, to me, looking as an outsider looking in, to me, the management team, none of those people should be getting any sort of bonuses. And in fact, somebody or some peoples from their management team probably need to be let go. And I think that the actual developers themselves, they should absolutely be getting fat bonuses because of all the bullshit that they've had to endure through this whole situation.
And they don't even, to be honest, it sounds like they don't even get paid that much there. When defense for all the overtime, which, like I kind of bought, it's like, oh, these guys are going to make huge bonuses. And it's like, well, they don't make fuck all to begin with, most of them. So they didn't get huge.
The designer was making, what did he say, $16 an hour?
Yeah, one guy was like $700 a month. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, dev?
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's a different country, cost of living, blah blah blah. But still, it's yeah. Um. So yeah, like I said, we'll
Have a
we'll link the
read.
story in the show notes. Take it for a read.
Just more proof that management sucks and CD Projekt kind of fucking ruined all the goodwill they had with one stupid decision. All they
Well,
had to do
yeah.
is delay the game.
Yep.
It's like they folded to like the pressure from the fucking like the internet. Don't ever cave in to the internet. This is the bottom line here. Don't ever cave in.
It was a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah.
Um,
This
this next story from VG247 by Dom Pepiat. Resident Evil Village gameplay and lots more Resident Evil news coming next week. Capcom has announced a Resident Evil showcase that will take place next week, showing off more Resident Evil Village gameplay and more news about the series. So that's exciting.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Which
it's
is literally happening tomorrow.
Yeah, we just missed out on it, so we won't be able to talk about it next week. But if you're interested, check it out. Hosted by our friend Brittany Brombacher, blonde nerd,
Brombacher? The blonde nerd.
which we've met a million times at E3, PAX.
Hey, we've been to her parties.
Part of the What's Good Girls.
Yeah.
She follows me on Twitter.
Very cool.
I think the first time I met her was at the Xbox, one of the Xbox showcases at E3.
Nice.
And then it was like I think she lives in Seattle, so we couldn't get away from her and see her I don't think she lives there anymore, but we'd see her every PAX.
Yeah.
Running into her at the random thing.
Yep.
Anyway, good for her. That's cool. I think that's like her first really big like hosting gig.
Yeah, well, she's a huge
Yeah,
Resident Evil fan,
she
so
is.
good for her, man. That's a great choice by Capcom. So they're going to be showing off Resident Evil. I'm hoping they're going to announce how the fuck to say it. Like, is it just Resident Evil Village? Is it Resident Village? I don't. Is it Resident Evil 8 Village? Is it Resident Evil Village? Like, they add the 8 in the anyways
In the title.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Cool.
There you go.
Next week
That'll
we'll have
be-
more to say.
Exactly.
This next story will annoy a lot of people. Also from VG247 by Alex Calvin. NVIDIA says RTX 30 GPUs will be in short supply until April. You're gonna have a hard time finding the Green Giant's latest and greatest graphics tech for some time yet. NVIDIA has said that there's going to be a limited stock of its 30 series cards for the next few months, speaking at the 19th annual JP Morgan Tech Auto Forum conference. As reported by Seeking Alpha, the company's chief financial officer, Colette Kress, admitted that it hadn't been able to keep up to supply level with demand. The exec said that there weren't much stock in the pipeline at the moment, and it is likely to be the case throughout Q1 or until the end of March.
Yeah,
Not surprised.
There's a lot of reasons for this, and they're not the only ones.
No.
So at CES, AMD, there's actually really good. If you're super interested, there's a really good talk that I believe Anatech did, where they talked to the CEO of AMD, Lisa Su. And they talk about supply and demand and stuff like that. And
Is
she
it
was
all this
saying,
shit fighting for the same memory?
No, a lot of it has to do with fab space. There's only, for example, TSMC is who AMD uses for their 7-nanometer fab. So right now TSMC is the ones that are fabbing the PlayStation 5. They're the ones fabbing the Xbox Series X. They're the ones fabbing the chips in the new iPhones. They're the ones fabbing the brand new video cards. They're the so
wow,
like all of those
think
things.
you would think that someone else might want to get in on this business.
It's an extremely expensive business to get into is the problem, right?
Yeah,
like
it kind of
we're
makes
talking-
sense that there's like one guy who dominates it.
Yeah, well, so that's the thing is that Nvidia with their new video cards, they actually went to Samsung because obviously everybody else is using TSMC on their 7-nanometer fab, which is taking up all of the. There's no more room there essentially. So Nvidia actually went to Samsung on their 8-nanometer fab, which is what all of the 30 series cards are being fabbed on right now. but it's part of it is that, part of it is COVID, is having
Fucking
a
COVID.
real pain with some of the substrates and stuff that they use to actually make the fabs. So she said, like, we are shipping lots of parts, volumes in all segments are increasing, and we will continue to do that throughout 2021. But there's going to be tightness in the first half of the year, because obviously they're shipping to consumers, but they're also shipping to OEMs at the same time, right? So, so they're trying to like do the whole thing where, Dell, well, probably not Dell, but like Lenovo and HP and these guys are ordering parts, but they also need to be able to put them in boxes and put them on store shelves and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, and then she flat out said, like, one of the things that, like, is like, we saw that the demand was there, but we honestly, even with knowing how much demand was there, we really had no idea how much demand was there. Till we actually started
Unprecedented
putting,
times, you may say. You might have heard that phrase going around lately.
Yeah. So it's not just Nvidia. AMD is kind of in a very similar boat right
Yeah.
now.
We,
I will
luckily,
say, as both of us ended up managing to get the things that we needed to get.
not on day one, mind you.
Oh, yeah, right.
That was an impossibility. Like a
Yeah.
month late on each thing.
I will say, in Canada, if you're in Canada and you're trying to get a hold of like a 30 series or a AMD,
Memory Express, my friend.
yeah,
Put your name down on the list in store, and they'll call you within a few weeks or a month or less.
That's honestly the way to go about it, is put your name on the back.
No money down.
List,
Don't
just
stress.
Wait.
If you see it pop up on a notification from El Babbins and you can snipe it online, great. But just if you really want one of these sought after cards.
I mean, that's how I did it. I put my name down and I waited.
That's how I got my. It's how I got my Strix.
Yeah.
And I overpaid for my 5950.
Yeah.
But anyway, funny story. Guess who called me today to tell me they had a 5950?
Memory Express?
Maybe.
So in other words, if you would have just waited, by the time you actually ended up getting to put it in, it probably would have been about the same time frame.
Yeah. Well, so there's $150 down the drain.
So yeah, that would be my recommendation to anybody that's like, I can't find these anywhere. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like, seriously, fine. It doesn't even necessarily have to be Memory Express, but like, if you have one close to you or whatever, that's who I would recommend, because they are allowing people to put your name down without putting money down,
which is fantastic,
because they know, like, if you're not,
it doesn't matter though. They can flip it. They don't care.
The demand is there. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's how I managed to get my 6800 XT. So
this next story from Kotaku by Ian Walker. Fighting game players create community-wide code of conduct. Members of the fighting game community recently unveiled the code of conduct for the competitive scene, much like and similar as a December 2020 project in the Smash community. Apparently they had one as well. But anyway, that community's dead, apparently. The document is a list of common sense rules that include a firm stance against several forms of abuse and harassment, hygiene standards, wear deodorant, and procedures for when these terms are violated. Pushback was perhaps unsurprisingly swift after the project went live yesterday. The competitive fighting game community prides itself on maintaining an edgier atmosphere that harkens back to the arcade era, and those that exploit that ethos to be assholes were naturally threatened by guidelines that sought to keep them in check. I think this is good. I don't like egotistical, bad-mouthing douchebags. I don't think there's any place for that.
I mean, I don't.
There's talking trash, but like a lot of these guys have personas off the fighting game scene and do some really shitty stuff and take advantage of fans or people in the communities. And this is kind of like, you know what? We didn't have rules for any of this stuff. Like, shit got so bad with the fighting community last year that EVO was canceled and like Smash was pulled out of stuff because of like people involved.
That had to do with like scumbags that were taking advantage of people.
Yeah, but the thing is they weren't the only ones in the community. So
no,
So hence why like they've kind of come up with this like, okay, we can't just be a bunch of fucking little boys in the basement, you know.
That's the thing, is like this to me shows maturity. This to me
Yes.
shows, like, you know, that the community is coming together and they're maturing, right? It's not a little boys, you know, it's not a little boys club anymore. There's lots of people from all ages across multiple, you know, backgrounds and sexes and ages and everything else. And like, you know, you want it to be an inviting thing for everybody to be able to take part of. And it's like you can still, you know, and I think it's hard because, like, let's be honest, change is hard for people. And as soon as some people, you tell them that, like, hey, you know, we're going to be putting some rules in place and stuff, and like suddenly they're like, oh, I can't be an asshole anymore. And it's like, no, you can't. Like, we're trying to facilitate an environment that everybody wants to be a part of, and you being a fucking asshole to, you know, new people and females and
If they want to be
whatever.
taken serious and they want the scene to grow, to bring real money for real competitions, and it to become
exactly
a real esports thing beyond just Capcom stuff.
Yep.
They need to clean up their act.
Exactly. Because, like, let's be honest, like, I have always felt like fighting games is one of those things that if you got the right thing, it's the easiest thing to fucking watch.
Game. Yeah. This guy versus that guy.
Like, we were at PAX. My wife, we were, you know, like, when, like, because she comes down usually for a day. She'll swing into PAX. You know, I'll walk her through the show and we'll check out a few things here and there or whatever, and then she usually leaves. You know, but she likes going in for the spectacle. And like, we were in the last time that we were at PAX, we swung in and they were doing like a fighting game tournament on the main stage. And so we swung and we sat down for a second, and like within 2 seconds she could understand like what the fuck was going on. It wasn't like in Dota, or it wasn't like in League, it wasn't in Counter-Strike where I'm explaining to her like what's happening and trying to get her into it. No, like it was like that guy on the right side is against that guy on the left side and they're fighting, and like there's a health bar, done. Like, you know what I mean?
This scene's been so, you know, it's so funny. Like in chat, like Juke is talking about Smash. Like, yeah, the scene is so trash. That's why Nintendo doesn't even want to touch it with like a 10-foot pole. They don't want to be associated with it at all. Like, no, it's our game. You're not having the tournament. You're not, because the scene is such a mess with like drama and toxicity that they're like, no, fuck this. We're not even endorsing this. And they're like, oh, Nintendo, Nintendo. And it's like, it's because you guys are a bunch of fucking wild animals. Nobody wants to be associated with you. Doesn't matter Nintendo or if it was Microsoft or Sony. So it's like, you know, you did it to yourself.
Like, straight up, to me, like the fighting game scene should be the easiest thing to be marketing.
It should be one of the hugest too.
Yeah, it's like there's no reason in my mind. Like, I don't understand why it's not bigger than it is.
Well,
like, and I don't know if this is
why.
Just, well,
it's because of the community. It's because honestly, because of the community. So
I think this is awesome. I think that this is something that's needed, and I think that if like
absolutely,
these big
if they want to grow and go forward,
the big tournament organizers need to look at this and go like, yes, this is what we're going to, you need to abide by this if you're going to be involved.
Yeah.
End of discussion. Like, it shouldn't be a, you know, this should be a hard rule moving forward. So,
that's good.
I think it's a step in the right direction.
Anyway, moving along. This next story from IGN by Adam Bankhurst. Hitman 3 PC players will be able to play Hitman 1 and 2 levels for free if they own them. There's some confusion around this because Hitman 3 is EGS exclusive, right, on PC?
It is, yes.
So I don't know. People are like, oh, you won't be able to import the game. You will be able to import the game.
So what ended up happening was, originally they said you would be able to import your Hitman 1 levels because Hitman 1 is available on the EGS. But then IO in their original statement said you wouldn't be able to import Hitman 2 because that's not how it worked, and so on and so forth. Then what ended up happening was, a few days ago, Tim Sweeney from Epic, he came out on Twitter and said, like, look, we're working with IO to figure out a way to let you guys import your Hitman 2 levels, because we don't feel that you should have to buy a game that you already own on Steam on the Epic Game Store as well. Like, we like money as much as the next guy, but we're not assholes. And so we're going to be working with IO to figure out how we can make this happen, but we will absolutely make this happen. And so they said it's not going to be for launch, which is today, but he said it will be coming in the upcoming weeks, and we'll obviously let you guys know what that's going to look like once we figure it out.
Sounds like through logging in with your save and seeing that you own the game on Steam, most likely.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to wait, they've discounted the Hitman 1 and 2 pass on the Epic Game Store by 80% for the first 2 weeks. So, like, even if you don't already own those games and don't want to go through the hoops of verifying that you have the 2 first games and waiting for that, if you just want to import them right off the get-go, in the next 2 weeks, you got an 80% discount on the access passes for Hitman 1 and 2.
Is Hitman 2 on Epic Game Store?
I believe
I know Hitman 1 was, but I don't think Hitman 2 is. I think that was part of the problem.
Maybe.
Yeah, so there's the original Hitman.
There was concerns. They figured it out.
Yeah.
Hitman 2's or 3's apparently really good. Got great reviews. I unfortunately was so distracted and didn't realize it was coming out and didn't reach out to anyone. Maybe one of us might get it, might not.
We'll see.
Next story was Predator joins Fortnite. Dan already talked about that offhandedly during our What You've Been Playing. Not much to say there. I really got to put some time.
It's Predator in Fortnite, and like
I got to put some time
Predator
into freaking. I got to put some time into Fortnite. I haven't touched it in a while.
I will say he is a Battle Pass exclusive, so
exclusive.
The skin. There's a bunch of side stuff, but his skin is a Battle Pass exclusive. So.
Yeah, as soon as they had Mando, that Battle Pass was bought. This next story from VG247 again by Alex Calvin. UK retailer game. What's that?
We know where you were.
UK retailer game puts in measures to stop PS5 scalpers.
Jeez, 6 months after launch.
Yeah, UK game retailer said that it's introduced measures to stop scalpers from buying huge numbers of PS5s, especially with the scalping group in UK boasting that they snagged 2,000 from the last drop in the UK, which is, I don't know. These guys, it's a little weird. This is the scalping group that has thousands of members. So
right.
This is like El Babin saying, 1,000 members from his Discord or Twitter follower and bought all the PS5s from the Best Buy drop.
No, it's not.
Well, they're not scalpers, but it's...
Well, no, not just that. This is different because this is their fucking bot, right? Like, this is their bot.
Is it an actual bot that can actually purchase them?
Yes. That's the difference here. El Babbins uses a bot to tell you when things are in stock. It's up to you to purchase them. Nobody's fucking buying with their bots.
See, this is weird. I really want someone, and I'm not going to spend the time because I don't give a shit. Most bots can't actually buy stuff, and the ones that can are very expensive. Why I ask, why I bring this up is because my friend, who has a friend who is into programming, created a script or a bot like El Babbins did for Best Buy, because it's really easy if you know how to use APIs. And the most it can do is add something to a cart. But you still have to physically buy it. You still have, like, a human still has to buy it. So it's like, unless game site really sucks and bots can actually purchase because they have zero protections on their website.
So when earlier this year, when the whole story was starting to blow up, there was a huge article. I can't remember which site it was that I was looking at, but they went and they were talking to people like this group. Like, they were talking to a bot scalping group like this, and they showed screenshots and stuff, and their bot would purchase shit. They were spending. So
I guess Game is one of the. Game is one of the sites that hasn't implemented changes. Then
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not the one that's doing any of this shit.
Yeah.
But my understanding was that it was a lot more sophisticated than just attaching into their APIs. It was using all kinds of stuff where it was attaching into their APIs, but then it was using scripts to also actually mimic somebody buying, like dropping it in a cart and then actually purchasing it.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, right?
So yeah, they came out and said, "Hey, we're doing stuff, blah blah blah." To be honest, I think it's bullshit. I don't believe them for a fucking second that they're paying anyone or have like any.
They're trying to do a one per customer thing, right?
Yeah, I guess they can automate their
do.
sites to cancel all multiple orders to similar residences and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they'll catch a few of these guys, I guess, now, because how many addresses can one person possibly have? It's kind of hard to have multiple addresses. You block PO boxes. It's hard to have multiple credit cards and different addresses. So yeah, they'll probably stop a few of them, but you know, if 1,000 members, that group probably has tens of thousands of members. If they each got one, well, it still went into scalpers' hands and they didn't really break anything. So it's this cat and mouse game. It's really annoying. You just gotta fucking block your APIs. You gotta do better, but at the same time, the amount of money that these guys have to invest, and we've talked about it before, no business is going to spend $2,000, or not $2,000, $2 million, or $1 million, or six figures to pay a team to slow down sales on a retail site. There's they don't give a shit. They all act like customers first and we want everyone to get one, but they don't care. To waste money to slow down making money doesn't make sense. So they, so they'll come out and say that they're doing shit like Walmart. Oh, we swatted away 22 million bot attempts. I'm like, sure you fucking did. Well, sure you did. You said it, so you did it. Like, where's the proof? Show us. Like, no, I don't think you did. I think you just said that so that tens of thousands of pissed off Twitter messages at your social media accounts will hopefully stop. Because people are mad because they want to buy this thing and they can't. And it sucks all around. Like,
we've been complaining about this since launch for not only the consoles, but obviously for video cards.
Yeah, video cards, because the fucking Bitcoiners, right? the bit miners, the Bitcoin miners, the freaking CPUs, the video cards, the PS5s, the Series X, everyone's at home. Not everyone has disposable income, but in this unprecedented times, a lot of crazy people do, and they're buying this shit up like fucking hotcakes.
There's also a ton of people that are building computers because they're like, well, I got to work from home now, so I'm going to make a sweet gaming computer so I can also play games.
I haven't built one for 5-10 years. I haven't played video games for 5 or 10 years. A lot of people are rediscovering these hobbies.
Yep. Being
at home, not being able to travel, not being able to go everywhere. Yeah. So there's a lot of factors. It sucks. Yep. What it is Sony's just got to force them. It's like, now, if you don't have these measures, blah, 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 these hooks to block this stuff on your website, guess what? You just get none. Because Sony's going to sell them to someone else who is willing to do the work.
Yeah.
So if it isn't Sony and Microsoft and Nvidia and AMD that's forcing these guys, then it won't stop.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that is honestly the easiest way to go about it.
Yeah, they have to.
But especially looking, I mean, I think that Sony and Microsoft could probably get away with something like that for like consoles at console launches. But the thing is that this shit only happens once every 7 years.
That's
like the last time a PlayStation 4 launched was 7 years. 2013.
Yeah. So if they don't do it now, you start slowly being like, you know what, when the next time this comes around, this shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you look at El Babin's tweets, and it's like the other day there was a PlayStation 5 drop. There was 1,400 or 1,100 PS5s.
Yeah.
In the drop.
That lasted 5 minutes?
And 5 fucking minutes. Yeah, right. 5 seconds.
Right.
100 digital. There's 100 digital and 1,100 disc because the API lets you see quantities.
Yeah, you can see how many quantities.
And it's just like, if you weren't looking at your phone and you got the notification, bot or not, it's like, you're not getting one.
No.
That's the unfortunate thing. It's like, to have an honest chance, you need to get a drop of like 10,000 or something.
but and like
But they had
this
it
is the
launch in India.
this is the other thing that I don't fully understand is like, why aren't some of these places just taking back orders in a first come first serve basis?
Yeah,
You know what
like
I mean?
don't if you didn't even put it
Like
on your website and you put back, yeah,
you
exactly.
let people know. You let people know.
Full
Just like
deposit.
when you buy an iPhone or you buy a whatever, if you buy on launch day, it'll tell you like your shit
Two
isn't going to
weeks,
ship
3
for a
weeks,
month.
4 weeks,
It's going to
5
tell you
weeks.
like, so the further out, like the further you wait or whatever, but at least that way people would just be able to be like, okay, well, I have my order in now. It's just a matter of waiting.
That
So you know what I
that would
mean?
kill the scalping market.
Yeah, absolutely. Because tons of people, if they knew they had one coming, they would, like, yes,
Yeah,
like
like
the
if I
waiting would
knew
suck,
my
but
fucking 5950 was gonna be here now, then again, I ordered mine like 3 weeks ago. It took a
sure,
long time to get here. Had it got
yeah,
here in 2 days or in regular like shipment times, like that 150 would have been a lot more worth it. But I also didn't have an ETA from Memory Express, right? But if I
right,
knew it was coming today, I would have been like, well, I'll just fucking wait.
sure. But like that's the thing that, like, honestly, this whole thing has kind of shown me is like, why aren't more people taking back orders and just telling and giving people a reasonable and like, because like you can't tell me that somebody like Best Buy or whatever doesn't have kind of some sort of an idea of when, you know what I mean? Like they have to kind of know roughly like, hey, if you order a PlayStation 5 today,
Oh yeah,
based
because they're
on
getting
situation,
purchase orders from Sony, and it's like, hey,
right,
you've got 10,000 coming 2 weeks from
right.
now. You
So
got
then
another
they would be able
10,000
to go
coming
like,
2 weeks
okay,
after that.
you're not going to get one for a month, but at least people would know,
You guys have 100,000 coming over the next 3 months.
right?
Yeah,
So like
that absolutely would. Then
so
they can get
so
the
like
money. They
yeah,
just take your money,
that's the thing, because
interest free.
that's what the iPhone does.
Yeah,
Like that's what Apple
that's
does.
a lot of stuff. It's like the new Samsung phones do. You could just pre-order it now, and I bet those pre-orders will not sell out.
No, because why would they?
There's no sellout. There's just like your date is just the
It
longer you
just
wait,
gets
the
pushed
later.
further.
Yeah,
Right. It just gets further along. And the thing
and
is at
those
that point,
markets don't
like,
have scalping.
and because you have that order and you know what your weight is, you're not going to be running out trying to buy it from somewhere else because that
Yeah,
shit's expensive, and you've already paid for it.
it's all Sony's fault.
So,
Sony, it's all your fault. Nvidia,
anyways,
AMD, Microsoft. Moving along. This next story from IGN by Wesley LeBlanc. PS5 custom plate maker returns after canceling all previous orders. Don't get this confused with the black PlayStations from last week or the week before. These were the CMP shells, the company that had to cancel its customers' orders for the PS5 shells last year, is selling. It's like a tongue. Selling its shells again. Selling shells on the seashore.
she sells seashells by the seashore.
The PS5 custom plate maker has 3 designs available in its store, ranging in price from $49 to $69.99, depending on what you want. They're expected to arrive at the end of February. Last time they were selling them, they sold out quickly, and it wasn't too long before Sony got involved and pressured the company to cancel all sales. That shouldn't happen this time, according to CMP Shells. The patent is pending, and all sales finalized before it's approved are untouchable. CMP Shell says in its frequently asked questions of whether or not the company will get sued by Sony. We didn't know before. Now we do. Further, we have not replicated anyone's proprietary design. Our shells improve upon the original, allowing for more ventilation. We will be able to sell even after the patent is approved. So I guess people went and talked to lawyers, checked the boxes, dotted I's, crossed T's, and just kind of went around and did the shit the way they probably should have done it from the get-go. But this is what happens when you rush and you just want to be the first. Because,
Yeah.
The crazy thing is I just don't... You must be able to just 3D print a shell by now, right? Like, I don't know why I haven't seen, like, Reddit posts of people in their own custom, like, shells already.
I
like,
doubt that these are 3D printed.
No,
these
obviously
these are
would be
probably
injection molded proper.
injection
like,
molded or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, they're pretty big. Like, how? I don't know. Maybe you could 3D print one.
I'm sure you could if you had a big enough printer.
Yeah.
They look kind of cool.
Yeah, there's their classic. Then they have a Blackout and a Kratos bundle, which has got like a God of War logo on the side, which is kind of neat.
Black looks cool. $50. So that must be American, right?
I would imagine.
I just don't. I'm just so amazed that I haven't seen someone make a shell that's more like just straight, that makes it like a box. You know what I mean?
That makes it look like an actual PS2?
Yeah. Like a real, just like no curves, just make it angular.
Yeah.
Like sharp corners. Well, it looks all right.
Yeah. I think, yeah, it looks cool.
You lose the PlayStation logo.
Yep.
I'll probably just wait for a freaking special edition or some bullshit.
I mean, I don't know. You think Sony, like, you think the big reason Sony is not going to just release a whole bunch of like face plates for this thing is just because they want to actually sell you the full on limited edition consoles themselves?
Well, they have no consoles to sell, so.
Oh, I mean,
if they were smart, they would have these shells right now for all the people who have systems. It's just like, it's free fucking money. How much does it cost to make a fucking piece of plastic you slap on there?
Well, like I said,
gotta have a good margin.
I'm wondering if they're thinking like, if we do that, we're lobotomizing future people. Like if we sell a black one in a year, or we sell a black one in 2 years, or are we lobotomizing?
But the demand is so
like,
high that someone's gonna want to fucking buy those the black one down the road anyway, and someone's gonna want those shells anyway. And the thing is most people who buy one of those special editions, unless you're like super baller, they usually get rid of their first system, which Sony makes no. I guess they're still selling another system. Sony wins either way. Make goddamn shells already, okay? Come on, fuck off.
Yeah,
I don't really care.
It's kind of weird. I don't know.
I like the white behemoth.
It is fucking big.
This next story from IGN by Daniel Robinson. Super Nintendo World theme park has been indefinitely delayed. Universal Studios has indefinitely delayed the opening of Super Nintendo World after Osaka Prefecture declared a state of emergency due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So yeah, it was supposed to open February 4th. I canceled my trip to Tokyo. Didn't have to figure out another time to go. Not much else to say. It's kind of crappy. Fuck, I want to go Super Nintendo Land. I'm going to fucking Tokyo. I decided.
I like, this isn't a surprise to me when they were like, yeah, we're going to open in February. I'm like, you guys are fucking crazy.
Like, no, you're not.
Like,
you know what's funny is by the time this fucking place opens, Super Nintendo World and like Universal
California is going to be, or Florida or whatever.
It's probably going to be open. I think it was like 2022 or 23 or something, like at this fucking rate.
Yeah.
Who knows what with fucking mutations and bullshit, if fucking anything's ever going to open again. God damn it.
Who knows? But I mean, hey, the Olympics are going to happen this year too. So, I mean.
And fuck, the United States is like less of a dumpster on fire right now. Takes time.
Yeah.
This next story, am I in the right spot? Yes, this next story from Xbox Newswire. I'm not going to go over this whole thing. It's just more of a PSA. If you want to check out all the games coming out to Xbox in 2021 exclusively, Xbox Newswire, which is basically like the Xbox blog, basically put out an article showing all the games that are going to be exclusive to the Xbox, and I assume Windows or Game Pass PC as well for 2021.
Yeah.
So if you want to check that out, have a look at this little story. A bunch of titles in there that you may or may not be aware of that were coming. Make you feel good about your Xbox purchase or your Game Pass investment. A lot of cool stuff.
Oh my God, Tunic has not come out yet?
I was looking at that exact same story. That is so funny that I was going to say something and you said that.
I just did we play that at PAX like 2 years ago?
Yeah, the game looks cool.
No, it does. It looks super cool, and you get to play as a little fox and stuff. Like,
little
it looks
Zelda
great.
Fox, basically.
But
Link Fox, whatever.
I thought that game was fucking out.
Nope, it's coming in 2021. Maybe.
Wild.
Maybe not. Who knows?
Well,
Public,
that's the other thing. Like with this story is like none of these have any actual dates
some
attached
of
to
them
them.
have dates. Some of the ones that
There's
have,
literally one.
yeah.
There's one in here that has a date. Everything
Um,
else just says 2021. So like the question that I then have is
shit.
like, how many of those are going to be moving? Sorry, two. How many of these are going to be moving out of 2021 and
Yeah.
into 2022?
I
Uh,
fuck. I totally forgot that I played some new old games.
oh yeah.
Well, I didn't forget. I played Scott Pilgrim.
Oh,
The
sweet.
re-release of
The
the game that
re-release.
came out 10 years ago
Yep.
is now on I think everything.
Yep.
I got it on Switch.
Okay.
It's good shit. If you
Does
like,
it hold up well?
it holds up perfectly well. It doesn't have the depth of like River City Girls, because River City Girls like adds tons of systems and like fucking moves and a lot of depth.
Right.
And a lot more RPG mechanics, but like Scott Pilgrim has a leveling up, and you get new moves as you level up, and it was already a great game with like a phenomenal soundtrack. So,
Right.
I really enjoyed it. Cyber Shadow, I think it comes out next week. I was trying to see the embargo because I'm not sure if I can actually talk about it.
Probably not.
Yeah. Maybe you can vamp while I try and look for the embargo.
Hmm? I forgot that Ubisoft released Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah, they released it. Yeah, that was their
Yeah.
game. Where were we? We
Yeah.
were at PSA's, Public Service Announcements. Bloodstain Classic Mode came out. I thought that looked cool. A lot of us played it. Felt like sharing that news.
Game's real good.
Epic Games Store freebie this week. Galactic Civilization 3. When you're listening to this in podcast form, it's not available now. It's still, what is it still now?
It is Star Wars Battlefront 2
Celebration Edition.
till tomorrow. So you have till tomorrow.
Oh yeah, funny story. That broke the servers. So many people rushing to play that game.
Hey, I'm not surprised. I mean, like, it wouldn't surprise me if how many people probably fell off playing that game, and then all of a sudden you get a massive rush, and they're like, "Whoa!" It sounds like they were, spinning up servers, and it sounds like they got it sorted. So that's good.
I can't find this goddamn embargo, so I'm not gonna say anything except for that I have it.
Cool.
Cyber Shadow. That's a Ninja Gaiden-esque one that we played at PAX.
Yep.
By Yacht Club Games.
Yep.
It's also on everything, I believe, and it's coming to Game Pass. So,
I
think next week it'll be on Game Pass. So it was pretty cool.
Excellent.
You talked about that. Brings us to our free for all section. Dane, you already talked about your CPU, GPU issues.
Yep.
Talk to me about Lupin. I don't know anything about Lupin. I know it's comic or is it a graphic novel?
Yes.
Both?
It's comic. It's an anime, actually. There's a series of anime movies. Lupin the Third. You may have heard of it.
Okay. Yes, I've heard. Now with the third, Lupin on its own was something new.
So.
Oh yeah. I recognize this fucking guy.
Yeah.
With the fucking chops.
So Lupin is on Netflix. It's out. It's out now. Season 1 or part. What did they say? Part 1, season 1, or anyways. It's out on Netflix. It is a. How would you explain it? It is a. So I will say right now, it's a French show that they have dubbed. So if you can't handle some mouths moving not perfectly in sync, then it may bother you. I think that the voice acting and stuff is really well done. It hasn't bothered me pretty much at all. I think that the stories so far have been really good. It's about Lupin is essentially a gentleman thief, and it's funny because it's like the show is about a guy who kind of took to heart the idea of Lupin and the gentleman thief and stuff like that, and how he's trying to use that to and And so like every episode is a kind of very much a sort of like a heist style Ocean's 11 kind of, you know what I mean? Like sort of that whole, oh no, what's going to happen? How's he going to get out of this? What's going to, or how, like, you know what I mean? There's always the twist. So it's like every episode is been so well done, with like, you know, like, wait, is this how you this isn't how you're thinking it's going to go, and like, and then you know, like you see the big kind of spin at the end or whatever, and you're like, oh shit, that was so smart. And it's cool, it's really good. We're most of the way, I can't remember, I think there's 5 or 6 episodes in the first season. We just finished episode 4 last night, and my wife, who knows nothing about it, she's been really enjoying it, so we've been watching that together. It's really good. It's really, really good. I would highly recommend it. It's on Netflix. If you have Netflix, check it out, because it's cool as hell, especially if you like heist movies and stuff like that. It's like that. So
They changed the main character from the anime, eh?
I think the anime is based off the book, which is a French book. So I don't know, man. All I know is that the main character in it is great.
He looks cool.
He's so well. He does such a good job.
So, and you said it's dubbed.
It is the original.
So
the
you can
original
watch it
show
subtitled then, right?
You could. The original show is in French, so, you know, yeah.
French.
It's
French mystery comedy.
It's good. It's very good.
That's funny. Looks cool.
Yeah.
I had the trailer playing while you were talking about it.
Nice.
I watched WandaVision.
The first one episode, the first two
episodes.
Okay.
Basically the start of phase 4 of the MCU.
Yeah.
The first MCU content we've had since fucking Endgame? Is it Endgame?
No, because there was Spider-Man Far From Home came out after Endgame.
Okay. Well, since that, we were supposed to have had Black Widow by now.
Yep. It's been filmed. It was supposed to come out.
It's kind of cool, but it's like a mystery, but it's like a comedy throwback to like Leave It to Beaver. You know, I Love Lucy, freaking that genie one. What the fuck did I call that one?
I Dream of Jeannie.
I Dream of Jeannie, like, because they have powers and stuff, but it's like that 50s, like black and white. Is it 50s? I'd say 50s, right? Like romantic comedy, family comedy. Weird.
But isn't like each episode of this sort of like a different era style thing?
Yeah, like it even stuff changes mid episodes. It's so weird. It's like something weird is going on, but you don't know what the fuck it is yet, and they haven't really alluded to any of it. So it's just you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. But right now it's just this weird, like, funny comedy with Wanda and Vision trying to be normal people.
Right.
All of those TV shows like melded
Mashed
together.
All weird. Interesting.
And
so like I was saying before the show, like I'm really kind of conflicted about this because I love the characters. I love Vision. I think he's a cool character. I'm a huge fan of Scarlet Witch. Like she's like one of the most powerful mutants, and she's got some really rad comic arcs. Love her character. So it's like I feel obligated to watch this, but so far all of the trailers, everything that I've seen makes it out to be like this big, like, what the fuck is this? And I don't know if
it really kind of is. But that's the thing. At some point we're going to find out what the fuck this is, and it's going to become MCU, and I don't know what it is and if it's even spoilery to kind of explain what's happening.
Yes,
but it's so cool. But it's funny though. Like watching it, like it's fucking hilarious. Like it's hilarious. Like it's funny, and it's neat seeing them just be like human beings. Like that's the thing. It's like they're superheroes, but not really. And like I can't wait to find out like why, and what is going on. There's been some hints. There's symbols. and names have been
my
dropped.
question is like, at what point?
It's like they're in a sitcom. It's like really, it's like Truman.
Yeah.
It's like Truman Showish, right?
But like, when does this happen? Is my question, because like
I don't know. We'll
it has
find.
to happen.
We'll find out. I'm sure
It
it's
has
in
to
modern.
happen
It's got to be modern times.
Well, no, my point is it has to be pre-Endgame, because Vision, he got fucking dead in order to use
Oh, spoiler alert!
That's sorry to spin out but this is my point. Like, it's just, do you know what I mean?
That's the thing. Like that's. I bet you that's part of the mystery. It has to be. It has to be after.
I disagree, but okay.
I have suspicions, but I don't want to. I don't want it because
No, that's probably good.
Because
I mean, like I said, I haven't seen it, so
there's going to
can't
be
say
some
it all,
big.
right?
I don't know how. Apparently, there's a comic series that this is kind of based on. So I'm sure if you read the comics, you probably already know what the fuck's going on or what potentially is going to happen. Because like there is this exact like sitcom Vision and Wanda get married, and like it's like literally. I've seen those comics that run a comics, the covers and stuff a few years ago.
Right.
And I'm like, that's where a lot of this is coming from, though they've changed stuff. So
kind of like Civil War, where they've they got the general idea from the comics, but then they've modified it to suit
so that's apparently what I've
needs.
heard they've done here as well, but I don't know what's going on. I have ideas, and I kind of like going in blind. It is something very different, and it's kind of neat to see them just like human beings. And I used to watch these shows when I was a kid. Like my mom used to watch these like in the 80s and the late 70s when I was like, these shows were on TV, and they were the shows that people watched. Like, you know, the Brady Bunch and I Dream of Jeannie and going back from all that stuff. And anyway, it's neat. I totally recommend watching it. The thing is like at the end, you're like, what's going on? You're like, that was hilarious and funny, and it was neat, but like I want to know what's going on. What's going on? Oh.
Okay, I'll try and see if maybe the wife and I'll watch.
They're really short. They're like half an hour too.
Yeah,
so
I did notice that.
It's going to be like one of those. You know what? Almost you might almost get more rewarded if you wait until like the whole season's out.
So I don't know if I'll wait for the whole season,
but at least maybe half, because that's probably where a big reveal is going to happen, like 6 episodes in.
Yeah, I'll probably get a couple at least, and then watch them 2-3 at a time, because my wife sometimes like it'll just end and she'll be like, "Wait, we have the next episode, right?" And you're like, "No, we gotta wait next week." She's like, "No, I don't want to wait for another week. What the hell?"
Yeah, we watched the 2, and then there was kind of like some the way it ended and something that was happening. It was like, oh, we're gonna find out. God damn it, we don't have another one.
Exactly. So, that's cool.
Anyway,
all right, fair enough.
Dane,
that's it. That's all she wrote.
That's an episode 289 in the gigabits and in your ear holes. Thank you everyone for hanging out, watching, and listening to our, beautiful sultry voices. To episode 289, Geekoholics Anonymous podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at RickF, no KRICF.
You can come hang out with me on Twitter at Dane Cody, at DAYNECODY.
Of course, make sure to follow, like, subscribe. We're Geekoholics everywhere on all the social media platforms. We're also Geekoholics on the Epic Games Creator Code. Use that, support the show on the Epic Games Store, Fortnite, and Rocket League. Of course, join the Discord server, Geekoholics.com/Discord. That's, our hangout, our chat. Fun times to be had there. You can see pictures of my PC building adventure. And then, of course, make sure to rate and review us wherever podcasts allow you to rate and review. Most likely, Apple Podcasts or the podcast app helps the show grow. And, of course, you can watch us on Twitch every week, twitch.tv/Geekoholics, Wednesday nights, usually around 8:30 Pacific time, plus or minus. We're always on time. If you're watching this, I'm shaking my head. We're usually late. It's always Dane's fault.
Sometimes.
No, most of the time it's my fault. But of course, if you have Amazon Prime, you've got Twitch Gaming, which gives you a sub to a Twitch channel of your choice. Every month, does not auto renew. You have to remember to renew it and share that free Bezos bucks with a creator of your choice. Of course, we'd love it if you threw it our way. If not, just make sure you remember and share it to another streamer every month. If you've got Amazon Prime, you've got a free sub to a streamer, content creator, podcaster of your choice. Well, at least if they're on Twitch. Anything else to add before we are out, Dane?
Nope.
Maybe next week we'll have a new podcast computer. Fingers crossed I didn't fuck it up.
I guess we'll find out next week.
Tune in next week. Until then, thank you everyone for hanging out, watching, and listening to the show. We love you and appreciate you. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Peace.